then call the meeting to order. I just need I've got a new thing here I'm doing to go directly to YouTube, so I don't have to skip. I don't have to do 2 steps. Okay. If you would just wait 1 minute and then call the meeting to order. Now I've got to figure out how to mute this, so I've got a new thing here I'm doing. Mute. Okay, we are live. Go
Okay, welcome everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And on the minutes from the August 24th meeting, I have one major change. When I did my report, I wasn't reporting on workforce hosing. I was doing workforce housing. So I'd like it to become a housing rather than a hosing. That's my one change. Any other changes on the minutes? Can I have a motion?
I motion to accept.
Second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Approved. Okay, moving on. Danica, broadband. I'm glad you're doing that because this article that appeared in the paper, I have some questions about. So Danica, it's over to you. Can you read that article?
I did not actually see that article. What was the question? What was it pertaining to, the article? That they're moving forward with broadband plans?
Yeah, it really talks about Ringe and Dublin moving forward with a really broadband plan. And that then raises the question about where are we going to go? It's over to you, Danica.
Yeah, so right now, I mean, we've had vendors reach out to us with their submittals. It's more or less we need the funding to get it put in place. And that's kind of where we're kind of stuck at right now, is because there's a lot of grant opportunities, but they're not necessarily to assist with putting the infrastructure in place. A lot of them are more geared toward the beginning stages of the planning process, which we're way past that. We know where we're at and what we need. We just need to get it put in place now. And so the other kind of hitch there is that we know that Peterborough has a higher median area income as compared to other towns in the area. And a lot of these grant programs rate and prioritize their who they're giving their funding to based on median area income. So that puts us a little behind where we have the higher than most. So at this time, it's sort of like we're in a waiting pattern to see, first of all, are there going to be grant funds that come online that meet exactly what we need? Meaning it's not going to be based on our median area income necessarily, or maybe we'll meet that standard. And at the same time, it can't be just for the planning part of it. We really just need to get it put in place now. And right now, there's really not much that's been available. So, Jean, you have your hand up.
So have we considered the Chesterfield model? Did you have Consolidated give us a bit on that?
We did not get Consolidated. We got Comcast, and then I'm forgetting the one out of Maine. I want to say it was TCC Skywire, but that was more of a middleman submittal where they would again do the legwork in the planning process. But we've gotten the planning process done. We just need someone to put it in place now. Did Consolidated not respond? Or? No, they did not respond to our submittal. And when we put out the submittal for the RFP, it went directly to our contacts at Consolidated, and they responded initially saying, "Thank you for considering us. We'll get back to you with a submission." We never did it again. So unfortunately, that is what it is. But
Well, they're doing the Ringe and the Dublin according to this article, so maybe they're just too busy.
it's possible. But it'd be great if we could get our hands on them and they could include us in that process.
What do you think, Jean?
Well, Danica, do you have a copy of the process document from Southwest Regional?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
The how-to guide from Southwest Regional. Karen knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's the Southwest Regional Planning Commission's been having the regional broadband gathering, right? And they've worked on a step-by-step guide to front soup to nuts, right? How to follow the Chesterfield model to be able to get the broadband project in. It includes the bonding piece, which is the funding, right? So I think it would be good for us to look at that, see where we are as relates to that, and I think bring to the select board, the whole project to see if they would like to go forward with some kind of bond proposal for next town meeting, or for the warrant, for when we get to there, because funding is the issue, and one way or another we have to figure out how this gets paid for, and I think that's got to go to the select board level. So so Danica, I'm happy to kind of look at that with you, and let's see what we need to do.
Yeah, because at this point, there's really not much grant opportunities where we can get it put in place. And I have had outreach from people in the community asking why we aren't moving towards bonding. And a lot of the conversation has been about, well, we're bonded to the max right now, but we recognize that there's a critical need to put broadband in place as soon as possible in the world of COVID right now. So yeah, I do think that that'd be worth the conversation with you, Karen, to talk about how we can move forward, maybe just having the discussion about bonding if that's an option.
And the way this bonding goes, the way Chesterfield did it, it's just the users who pay us a less than $10 fee to cover the cost of it. So
that's exactly what this article says.
yeah, so it's not bonding for all property taxpayers, right?
It gets paid back by the users.
Okay, so we'll pursue it. We'll take this off.
Okay.
Okay, just one note, Karen, is you, of course, need a submission from Consolidated, and if Comcast gave you a complete quote with a complete map, that's one thing. But if they gave you that rudimentary map that they've been giving everyone else, Temple then requested a more detailed map, and because Comcast didn't come across with it, Temple is considering that area unserved. So that makes a huge difference in what Consolidated is able to do.
Right.
So we're kind of watching to see if Comcast protests Temple's declaration. If they do not, that makes a huge difference in our options.
Okay, so Jean, okay with you if after Danica and I discuss what we think we need to do, we circle back with you? Okay, great.
Okay, moving on. The next item is the hosing update, also called housing update.
Nice. Be nice.
Laura, we greatly appreciate what you do.
The update from the committee is that we have several different plans for possible 16 new affordable units to be put on Evans Flat. Several different designs, several different ideas about the structure. And the one thing we've got to do is meet with the town selectmen to talk about whether the town land can be used for this affordable housing project, and which ones of these various varieties that we have would the selectmen really favor in terms of the use of the town land. We have spent a number of weeks trying to get that meeting set up with the selectmen, and they have not been really able to meet. So we're still waiting for that meeting, which is our next step. And then after that, we'll probably have to meet with the neighbors to actually have them explore the design that we're really moving forward to, with selectmen also supporting, and then go to the planning board. So we have a number of next steps to take on that. So at this point, I have no other headline to give on that other than what I've just told you. Any questions? Again, it's 16 units affordable to be done for rental, and several different ways of designing and structuring the arrangement that we need essentially select approval of. Gene,
In the past, every project that's tried to go in Evans Flat has run up against flooding, seasonal flooding. What's different about this one?
this is not in the flooding area. The flooding is not really anywhere near the land that we're talking about on Evans Flat. The land is certainly available. In the past, in a plan that was done a number of years ago by the town, they talked about using that land for affordable housing. That was in a planning process that was undertaken maybe 20 years ago. So we're still pursuing what really, I think it does work if we get town approval and neighbors not really objecting.
So Ed, since you're the selectman representing select board here, is that something you can bring back?
Yes, I will. I mean, I have to say, I know there's a number of things like this that are out there that people are being put off about because of some of the other major issues the board has been dealing with, and now we have to deal with now that I'm part of it now. But I personally, I favor having more meetings if that's what it's going to take, so that we can at least get everything on the table that we're talking about before we, before we discourage people that are been working hard on things. So I don't think we're having a meeting now until October 8th or 6th or something. I'm hoping we can go to 2 or maybe more if we need them meetings. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. So that's my view. I once was an advisor when I was a selectman before to Hope Taylor and Pelagia, and I think it was Gary Carpenter. Was that the guy who passed away?
Yeah.
And, they really were advocating for this. And I see that Hope has been involved with this, I think, anyway, if it's the same presentation that I read about.
Yes.
From her. So this has been talked about for a long time. And I think it's important to try to get something done because it keeps coming up at planning board meetings also, and people are clamoring for affordable housing. I'm not sure I totally understand that definition yet, but I don't think we can force builders to do it. The planning board can't do that, but if we have another way of getting it done, then I think I'm in favor of it. But I'll see what I can do anyway to get
Good.
this.
When is your next meeting? October
8th.
8th?
But that may be a busy meeting. I don't know.
6th?
We have to talk about the election and all of that coming up. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a top priority from the moderator and from the Secretary of State. And we have to make sure we do not have any glitches, and we expect it'll be a large turnout. So, I think I haven't seen an agenda yet, but I'm hoping that's going to be on it also. So just try to be a little patient, a little longer. And sometimes I'd like to talk to one, maybe Jean, if she has time, a little bit about this broadband thing, because I wish we had some competition, to tell you the truth, personally. I'm speaking personally from a Comcast user, that if I could find another way to watch TV tomorrow, they would be done with me.
Karen,
Yeah, James, I'd like to offer to the Housing Committee that if there is a delay getting to the select board, perhaps I could meet with the committee from my office to be able to see how we might put a process together to get ready for the select board. I don't know all of what's involved, but I do know that there are a number of steps that Nicole had outlined that would need to be followed. So maybe what we could do is maybe Danica and I can work with the committee to get you guys to a good place so that when the select board is ready to meet, that all those ducks are in a row and we're ready to move it forward.
I think that's a very good idea, because what right now, it's a little bit too complicated, what is being put on the table. This needs to be more precise in terms of what we go forward with. Danica, you probably would agree with that. You were in the last meeting.
Yeah, I do. I think it just starts with a conversation with the select board to make sure that you have the ability to have the acquisition of land first. And then I know you guys have a lot of great ideas and concepts that you'd want to be ready to move forward with, but yeah, I think that me and Karen can help and see how we can get you guys in for the meeting.
Well, let's make that connection with Hope and Pelagia and get that meeting set up with Karen. I think that's a great idea. And Pelagia, do you want to do that? Or Ruth, Karen, do you want to reach out?
I can do that. Sure.
Okay, do that. I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
Okay, can we move on? Or just one other headline. The hospital is still considering a plan to move forward on affordable housing on their land. And right now, there's nothing to be published or mentioned about that.
All right.
Okay, we move on to a very major report by Bill on the marketing and drum.
Megan's involved in this as well. Want to
Yes.
acknowledge her contribution, which is tremendous. A couple things we need to address this morning. As you may already know, the Our Town Together project has come to fruition and completion. So last Thursday, Karen had joined us. We had a meeting with Drum to evaluate where we're headed. And in particular, whether or not we want to renew the contract with Drum to carry on our social media efforts, and what those efforts are going to look like over the next 3 months. And then as part of that process, we asked them to make a proposal as to, we recognize the fact that the website, our website, the EDA website, which is peterboroughworks.org, really hasn't been renovated for several months, if not half a year. And it needs to turn attention. So we sent you some documents that were put together by Drum that not only makes a proposal as to going forward, but also to take a look back at the last year's activity. And I don't know if any of you have had an opportunity to look at it. I only had an opportunity to briefly look at it. But I think the salient feature is, if you get a chance to look at the EDA analytics, the page 2 EDA analytics. And what's striking there is the fact that Drum has been very, very successful in getting people to check out Peterborough. And they're checking out Peterborough by reading the media posts and then jumping to the Peterborough Works page to take a look at our town, and been very, very successful at that. So we concluded on Thursday that the direction that we would recommend is that we spend some time on that Peterborough Works website to update it and to perhaps add content to it. And so have directed Drum to propose to us what they would do as part of that 3-month extension to their contract. And that came into fruition as their proposal came in, which I just read, to be honest with you. What they're suggesting, the original proposal or the original contract had them doing 12 posts per month. And they were very successful at doing that, but they had plenty of content because we had a lot of activity going on around town in terms of, night markets and whatnot. So they had lots and lots of content to work from. Well, as of the COVID situation, a lot of that content has gone away, of course. And so they've actually been somewhat struggling to find content to post. So they're suggesting that instead of posting 12 times per month, that they cut that back to 8 posts per month, but spend the extra time working on the Peterborough Works website and updating that. Let's see. So, sorry.
I wanted to just add to what Bill is saying, and that is that the town of Peterborough is currently designing a new website, which we're hoping will be ready within the next 30 to 60 days. But site maps are being done now. And the intention here is that there be a seamless connection between the town site and the Peterborough Works site, which is really the site for people who are thinking about moving their business or themselves to Peterborough. So, so the two of them, so the town site will be really new and fresh and beautiful and engaging. And what we want is for the Peterborough Works site to be the same. And the changes that Drum made back in March with a lot more video and a lot more interesting kind of stuff definitely gets us started toward that. But I think that if they did dedicate some time to really refreshing the page and making sure the functionality all worked, that we'd have a really nice kind of 1-2 punch for people looking to come to town.
Exactly.
In terms of decisions, are we at the point in time where we need to approve another 3 months for Drum?
Yes, we are. What I propose, because I have not been able to read carefully their proposal here, what I'm proposing for the EDA this morning is to authorize the marketing committee and Karen's office to negotiate a contract of an contract extension with Drum for the next 3 months. And we planned on doing that. We have to do it over the next week or so, but that would give us a little bit of time. In other words, what I'm asking the EDA is to authorize us to negotiate and execute that contract without specifics at this point.
Although there are the specifics that are in this proposal are what we did discuss on Thursday and what we've just outlined to you. The difference between the current contract and this one, besides what they're working on, is that the previous contracts have been $1,350 per month. This new contract is $1,200 per month. It takes the advertising $150 out because they haven't spent what they have. And they've got basically a credit that they're going to use for ads going forward. So they don't need that money. So basically this is a bit of a reduction over what we have, the $1,350 down to $1,200. And it takes into account the social media piece as well as the website refresh.
I noticed they did have a surplus on their ad buy because we had instructed them not to buy additional ads. Is it your understanding in reading this, Karen, that they were going to apply that $450 to the next 3 months?
Yeah, under our instructions, so that they would use what they have in the bank, if you will, to do that.
But we do want to continue or regenerate our ad spends.
They've got the money for that. So this 3-month contract would not include any more ad money.
Okay.
So, but we're not talking about after the next 3 months.
We're just they're doing 3-month increments.
So it may not be 1,200 in the next round.
But you get to vote on that when the time came.
In 3 months, yes.
Right.
Okay, I thought it was a good suggestion coming from them in terms of what they were going to do in the next 3 months. And from a financial point of view, Karen, the money we have, this is available.
It is available.
And I think in our last meeting, we said this was something we would continue to support, given that we have at least another year of money available to support the development.
We have
Absolutely.
money until the end of June 2021.
Any questions about what the drum is proposing, or any suggestions from anyone?
I can tell you that, sorry, Megan, go ahead.
You go.
I can tell you that Megan and I have plans, and I want to invite everyone to join us. We have plans on Thursday morning at 8:30 to do a Zoom review of the Peterborough Works website and suggested content for that. So I enjoin you to either let us know in advance or to join us on Thursday to do that review and get Drum working on the project.
I'd love to do that.
Okay,
So please put me on the Zoom list.
you're on the list. And Karen, I presume that you were going to join us, but maybe not.
I have a half an hour I can give you at that time.
Okay, 8:30.
Yep.
Okay, are we going to approve this at this point in time in terms of the 3 months? Do we need a vote on that?
You do.
Okay, do I have a motion from anybody?
I'd like to motion that we approve the extended contract.
I second, Teach seconds.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Was that an opposal, Jean?
No, that was in favor. I was just delayed.
Okay, approved. So Bill and Megan, you can move forward with that. I'd love to join the Zoom on Thursday. Thank you.
Great. Okay, I'll put you on the Zoom list.
I
All
would,
right.
I would recommend that other members just take a look at the site. If you have anything, then email it to the marketing committee. If you review it, and it's peterboroughworks.com,
Oh, is it .com? Yeah, that's right.
right?
Okay, Karen, anything else in terms of the finances or anything else that you need to
No, James, I don't have a more detailed update from last month. Sorry.
say? Just continue on from last month,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. I will, I'll get the group something for next meeting.
Okay. Any other business?
Well, I just wanted to thank Ed for stepping up as the selectman's rep. And
Am I still on? It's Jerry Gallus here.
go for it, Jerry.
Hi. Karen asked me to reach out to the members of the Employers Forum to see if anyone would be interested in a virtual meeting as sort of an update, see where people stand and so forth. So far, I've got a number of very positive responses, but I haven't heard back from Millipore and Bowl Bearing yet. And of course, they're very large in this. So we will have such a conference call soon, hopefully at the end of this week or next week. And we need to put together an agenda. So Karen, you gave me some ideas for an agenda.
Mhm.
If anybody has any thoughts, send me a note or send them through Karen or however. Okay?
Jerry, do you want to, offline, we'll plan a call, you and I, and have a conversation?
That's fine.
Great. Okay.
You let me know when. You're the busy person.
I will hop on after this and call you. Okay, great.
Okay, great.
Yep.
I just wonder whether an agenda item would be affordable housing in terms of that discussion by the business.
I think housing will definitely be part of the discussion with the employers, right, Jerry?
It certainly can be.
Okay.
Well, I think having a recognition of the need for that from the employers would be very helpful. When is the next Zoom on that?
We haven't scheduled it yet.
Can others join? I mean, like me?
Haven't given it a moment's thought. I don't. Let us work it out.
Yeah. Let us put it together and then we can communicate it to the group. Does that make sense, Jerry?
Oh yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I would like to be included in any Zoom meetings that I could attend. I mean, I'm trying to play catch up here and I want to, you know, participate in as many things as I can. So I'm going to check later and see if I'm available Thursday morning, and then I'll let Karen know, I think, or somebody.
Okay.
And the this thing about the housing, I hope it's discussed in the Jerry meeting. And at one point there was some interest perhaps of trying to get them to help us with that too, but I don't think that went too far. There was, but you know,
Ed, there, if I'm still on, I don't know if I hit mute. Am I here? Okay. Ed, this has been a meeting topic for all of the series. The last time around was when Pete and I forget who else made a presentation about accumulating information from the employers about salary levels and so on and so forth to help design an approach to the affordable housing. That unfortunately began about 2 weeks before COVID closed everything down. And so we got a couple of responses, but a couple came back and said, we're just not going to be able to respond, period. And so we don't have much information. What did come in, I think the only one came in was ball bearing, and that was turned over to, I'm not sure who at the time had been recruited to, collate the information and so forth. I can check back. I don't remember who. So it is a hot topic. We do not have the information we had requested from them, and we'll have to see what we can get going forward.
I think whatever we're going to do on this is going to be a bit of a restart. You know, we made some progress and we're going to probably need to reinvigorate the process and see where we are now, right, Jerry?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. James,
Jerry, anything happening at Franklin Pierce that could we want to connect with in the near future?
No, nothing specific, but one of the representatives from Franklin Pierce, or the primary representative, Dr. Fiola, excuse me, who's the head of their business school, is a member of the forum. And he is one who has responded saying, yes, please, let's get a call together. So we will press him for input. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jerry, I don't follow Franklin Pierce very closely. Are they back in session?
Yes, they are.
And they have an in-person program going?
Yes, they do.
But they probably discourage their students from going out into the community too much.
Well, they developed a great number of plans to help not have a COVID problem, and within the first few days of session, they got, I forget how many cases, 10, 20 cases suddenly show up. Yeah. And so they isolated those persons and they clamped down on rules. Their rules had been, you should wear a mask, but it's not absolutely necessary. Well, now it's necessary, and so forth. So, and they are, I know, spacing people out in class and doing some things outside and so on and so forth. So, yeah, they're back in session, not at full bore. They didn't have everybody come in. I don't know if they're doing that in rotation or however. And they are discouraging people from going home on the weekend, which has been common.
The reason I bring that up is in my conversations with the small businesses in the area pre-COVID, there was a lot of question as to whether Franklin Pierce could help ease the workforce needs, particularly for some of these restaurants and small businesses.
Yeah, we were pushing that a great deal.
Yeah.
I forget now, it's been months, many months. But we had notified through Pete, I think, the restaurants that there were a lot of seasonal workers down there, many of whom spend their summers as waitresses or wait staff, shall we say, and that they would be possibly interested in sticking around for the summer, particularly given that the university provides them free housing during the summer. And of course, COVID hit and everything went into the closet.
Yeah. So maybe next summer.
Yeah, maybe next summer.
James, I have one more item if you can indulge me.
Please.
Great. And it's a good segue from the restaurant conversation. I just wanted to let the group know that a group of restaurant owners in Peterborough is working together currently to create a townwide promotion this winter. It's going to be something fun, engaging, have prizes, and encourage people to do takeout from a variety of folks in the town. So we are working on it. It's a bingo kind of game. But more to come on that, just to say that we have a good number of restaurants who've committed to being part of it, and we're working on pulling it together. And it looks like we'll be able to do this with some funding from the CARES Act money that the municipalities get reimbursed for. So it falls under my office's ability to support during COVID. So there's more information coming there. Stay tuned.
Good.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I have, with regard to, in particular, restaurants, the weather is turning chilly. Do we, as a group or as a town, have any strategies on how to best help our restaurants get through the winter season?
I think I just described that, Bill.
Okay.
That's the point of this.
I was going beyond that, Karen, in the sense that I know that when they started the reopening process, the town got very much involved in making sure that everyone was clear about the rules and regulations. Yep. And in fact, you even conducted a sign-up program there that, and I didn't know if you had plans for that sort of thing in the future.
Well, we're waiting for guidance from the Governor's Reopening Committee on winter restaurant regulations, or if you will, guidelines. But the fact what's really at play here is consumer confidence. And people have not been really wanting to eat inside. And so even if the state makes it more available, the customers are the ones ultimately who decide. So what we're recognizing is that we need to encourage people to do takeout to keep our restaurants going, because most likely with the colder weather, obviously people will not sit outside. There won't be seating, and they probably won't go in either. So our best attempt here is to encourage takeout and to do that in a way that's playful and gets folks engaged. So
are there things that Jean and I had discussed this just a few days ago, and Jean, you probably could express it better than I, but are there things that the town could be doing to help our restaurants be better takeout opportunities? I sent you an email, I know that anecdote, but.
I know what he's referring to. So Karen, I don't know if you recall, Sean Ryan had a plan in which the chamber would have been responsible for putting together an interface for a communal reservation ordering system that would take that administrative burden away from. There's a town in Massachusetts that does this, or maybe an area, maybe Tanglewood or something that does this. And that might be something that the Keene effort could help support. Some kind of central ordering and reservation system that then makes it very easy to create combos between dinner and theater and so forth. But that would that's obviously a bigger project, but it would be a great thing for that Keen group to be working on, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if that's part of their plan at this point, but I think it's a great idea too. I just don't know how we would do that at this point. I think helping the restaurants do better with takeout processing, I think is important because we know that nobody likes a busy signal and nobody likes to get put on hold for long. So if we can help them to do better, and if they don't have a lot of in-restaurant business, that's going to be where most of their business comes from. So I'll make that part of the conversation with the business owners.
Just one note, I did see a market research report on restaurant attendants perception. And they're saying that having people very visibly cleaning tables each time and spraying the disinfectant around as being a visible part of the process increased consumer confidence.
Good to know.
Should we tie drum into this at all in terms of any of their posts?
I had raised it with the marketing committee. Didn't sound like something they wanted to be involved in. So you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at this point.
Well, speaking about other committees, I just should say that we're going to be exploring an investment in the chocolate business, the chocolate restaurant business at our town capital in October. So what you know the name of that, Karen?
Vicuña.
Say it again.
Vicuña.
Vicuña. So that's going to be on the agenda for the Our Town Capital group in October to support the survival of that chocolate business and expansion of that business in Peterborough. Okay, any other new business? All right, a month from now would be October 19th. Can we put that down as the date of the next meeting?
11 a.m.
11 a.m., October 19th.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Can I make a suggestion? I've been noticing that with the multitude of Zoom meetings, we've been missing members of the EDA on a regular basis. I don't think Andy has joined us for 2 or 3 meetings now, and Jamie is Laura is away. I know that, and Jamie, I don't know where he is. I'm just wondering. Sorry.
Jamie said he couldn't make today, but he was on last month.
Yes, he was. He was on last month.
Well, and Andy said he tried to get on last month and couldn't get on. So,
well, he did dial in near the end.
Oh, that's right.
Well, that's right. He came in late. Yeah, that's right.
Well, I'm just wondering if some personal reminders would be appropriate. I don't know.
Certainly, it's a Monday meeting, so I mean, I certainly could send something on Monday morning first thing, but it's, you know, we all manage our calendars.
Yeah.
So
well, I like doing it.
I think the attendance has been pretty decent. You know, we've, as EDA goes.
Well, again, I like getting it out the week before and then maybe also on Monday. That's a good idea.
Okay, could do it Monday morning.
Okay.
So
I also, just a note on that, I did get reached out to by Allie because I think my term is up also, because it was only like a 1-year little term. So I'm happy to stay on for another, I think, is it a 3-year term typically?
It is.
Okay.
Well,
I
thought there were options. Karen, I thought there was options of 1 year, 2 years.
Yeah, let's take that up for next meeting. And Megan, if you're willing to hang in, we'll do whatever needs to be done officially for you. But let me look into that because I'm not sure.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Well, again, I turned it over to Karen. The note I got said that it was a 1-year term, 2-year term, or 3-year term. I'm perfectly happy to renew, but I left it up to Karen in terms of the years.
I will get with Ally and I'll get it straightened out and figure out what needs to happen, okay? And I'll be
Okay.
back in touch. All right.
Thanks.
All right. Any motion to adjourn? Oh, you want to
So
stay?
moved.
That was Jerry.
on? Okay, Jerry.
That was a so moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Karen.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Karen. Bye.